So if you're someone who's making less than 10K, 15K per month, maybe you're making 20K, but like the fact is, you're working all the hours a day. You're working like at least 8 hours a day. Like you're working 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours some days. And I can tell you firsthand that there is definitely room for you to work less because I've been in the same situation. And the way I got out of that sort of like hamster wheel where like you have to work because if you don't work, you're not gonna make that much money. And I've been there, okay? So the way we get out of this is essentially we need to build systems around this stuff, right? So in this video, what I'm gonna do is sort of like guide you exactly on what systems that you need and how to like implement those systems in the agency and what I did to build those systems so that way I am not the one running on that hamster wheel. Okay, so let's get into the video. Okay, so you're probably at a point where like you are running on this hamster wheel, but like your business requires you to do the work, to essentially like to do the work, to actually get to make that much money. Essentially, it's like a high paying job, right? And I've been there where like you're doing the outreach, you're managing all the clients, you're managing the Slack fires, you're getting the clients results, you're doing everything in the business. You are the business essentially. So the way you get out of that is not by doubling down on it and working more. Because like if you work more, like if you work more, you will get good results. That's good. But guess what? To do that again, you will have to work more again. So it's like it keeps going back and back and back. So what you need to do is you need to ask yourself, okay, so let's take one domain, for example. Let's take the service delivery domain. So you might have a service delivery where you might do lead generation for clients or appointment setting for clients, whatever it is, right? So let's say you have that, okay? And you ask yourself, okay, so from a client onboarding to them getting results, what are the things that need to happen in sequence, okay? And then let me just make this a little bit smaller. Okay, so now that my pencil is smaller, anyways, so you list everything out that you need to do. So let's say the first thing you do is send the client the onboarding form, and then you get the onboarding form done, and then you create the Slack channels. And then when the Slack channel is created, let's say you ask the client for pictures of their like whatever. Let's say you're doing lead generation for home renovation businesses. You ask the client for pictures of the sites and stuff, and then you ask them for their business information so that we can create a high level account, and then you create a high level sub account, and then you get that A2P verified, and then you create the ads for them, and then this is the sort of like the this is a specific ad strategy that you have for your clients, and then what is the strategy, you list the strategy out, and then like what happens if someone's not getting results, you like what do you test, like what kind of pictures do you test, what's your sort of thinking towards when someone's not getting results, how do you fix that, you write that thinking out. So this can be a little bit hard, okay? Because I've done this and it takes like it takes a good couple weeks, okay? This is not something that you can whip out in 10 minutes, okay? It doesn't work like that. Because like you have to literally put your brain on a Google document, right? Right? Like you have to have conditions as to like if that condition happens, what needs to be done. So for example, for us, we do appointment setting for our clients, done for you. And one of the things that we need to do is essentially set up the emails, right? So for emails, it's fairly simple. We just hire someone or like we pay someone who creates the accounts for us, and then we just pay them for the infrastructure. Fairly simple. But what happens if those emails are bouncing or landing in spam? Okay, this is a very specific example. So like the point that I'm trying to make is like what happens if a particular condition is met? Like what happens if your ads aren't working? Then you need to like write down exactly what you will do, like exactly what you think you're going to do. Like, okay, the ads are not working. Okay, so let's test 5 more ads and then let's just make them completely different from what we have already tested. Okay, that's something that you might have like that's something you might think, right? So you just need to list out what you're going to do if a certain thing happens, if that makes sense. Okay, so everything should be listed out, and once you have a document where like you can just tell them, okay, once a client comes in, these are the things that need to be done. And if you have something like, if you have a Google Doc which is like, let's say 10, 20 pages, you are good. Like you've put everything in. And then what I would do is just like, I would obviously sort of like arrange that better. Like, okay, so the onboarding document, these steps need to be done. This is a different document. Okay, so the sort of getting the pictures for ads or the ad creatives from the clients, this is a separate resource. Okay, so creating the new ad resources, this is a separate resource. Okay, creating the ad copy, this is the separate resource. Setting up the ad, that's the separate resource. What if the ads don't work? That's a separate resource. So like you now have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Google documents that contain everything that your service delivery has. And obviously there are going to be more than this, but like you get the point that I'm trying to make. You essentially list out everything you do, okay? Like I'm talking actions here, okay? So everything you do from a client comes in, every single thing, okay? From like pressing this button on Facebook, so that way we have created 3 ad sets to like everything. Okay, sending, making a copy of the client or onboarding form and then sending that to the client as soon as the sales call is done. That's another thing. Okay, it's like steps that like a toddler can follow. Like you need to make that simple. Okay, it's very important because if the people you hire don't understand what you're doing, like don't understand like your sort of like don't understand the way you're talking, or like they don't understand what you're saying to them because like you're talking on a higher level than they're at, then it's not going to work. You need to talk at a level that they can understand. Okay, so what I like to do is just simplify all of these documents that I've created for a certain domain or a certain aspect of my business. I just like to like create them as if I'm talking to a 10-year-old. Okay, it's very important, very important. I used to overlook this fact, but like once I hired people and they just didn't know what to do because like the documents were very, very sort of hard to understand for them. That was the bottleneck. So if you make the documents easier to understand, that like a 10-year-old can understand them, then you're good to go. Then you can just hire someone random from Philippines or whatever, and you can give that document to them, and you're going to save money because obviously, and then you're going to get your job done because like they're just following instructions there. They're just doing stuff that you've told them to do because it's conditional, right? If a certain thing happens, they do this. They already know that. And if they don't know it, they just come to you. But most stuff they already know. Okay, and obviously there's going to be like one odd thing that like that never happened before or that's not in the document that happens, and then they come to you. They ask you, okay, this certain pixel is not working. What do I do with the Facebook ads? Then you just tell them, and then you update the document, right? It's fairly straightforward. So that is essentially how you sort of systemize a particular compartment of your business and you systemize it. And another thing I want to talk about is, and this is something that I had to learn the hard way because I used to be very sort of like, I just wanted to do everything myself. I was just like very distrusting of people. I just didn't trust anyone to run my business for me. And that's very common. I speak to a lot of people, and a bunch of my clients have this too, where like they're like, I can't trust someone to do this for me because like service delivery is the most important thing in my business, and I can't just like give it to someone else, and that's completely understandable because I was there. You know what I mean? So I just like asked myself, okay, so do you want to do this yourself for the next 3, 5 years, or do you want to give it to someone, teach them exactly how it's done, so that way they get better, they get good results, and they do it for you eventually, and then you have the freedom where like you are not spending your time and you are not on this hamster wheel here, and you essentially live a life that you actually wanted to live, right? Because most of us started out wanting freedom. Like most of us started out wanting freedom. Like we wanted to not have to work every single day, right? Which is the opposite of where you might be right now. But don't worry, you're gonna get out of this. And if you pay attention to this video and if you implement everything that I'm telling you, you will get out of this. Like there is no other way. Okay. So what you do is essentially just ask yourself these questions where like, am I willing to run on this hamster wheel all the time? And am I willing to do that to get my clients the best results? Probably you will say no. Okay. And then you ask yourself, okay, so am I the best person in the world who can do what your service delivery is? So am I the best person in the world who can run ads, who can set appointments? And if the answer is yes, then you ask yourself, okay, so if I'm so good, wouldn't it be correct that I would have to work every single time to get these results? Probably will be. So how do you, so how do you get to a point where like you are not working so much? Okay, so obviously you have to teach someone. Okay, so that's a different skill. Teaching is a different skill than like doing service delivery or doing ads for your clients. So now your main goal should be getting good at teaching stuff to other people. Because the goal for you probably is, if you're watching this video, is to have the freedom, right? To like make 10K, 20K, 30K profit every single month, but also have the time, right? Because like if you're just like running on this hamster wheel all day and you don't have time for your girlfriend, for your family, for doing stuff that you want to do, then what's the point? It's just like numbers on a screen at that point, like you're working 12, 14 hours a day, and then you see a number that says 20,000 made this month. Cool. Guess what? You got to do the same the next month. And yeah. So the goal for you should be I mean, like, I'm not going to project anything on you, but like for me, when I was in this point, was to like get to a point where I didn't have to do this stuff. And sort of like I had people who like literally did this stuff for me, right? So it's like if you have that belief, you just have to like crush it. You just have to like sort of visualize or tell yourself that there is someone out there who can take this load off of you, and then there is someone that you can hire essentially. And you have to do this for every single thing, for your appointment booking, for your let's say for your outbound, um, and then you'd have to do this for your service delivery. You'd have to do this for your client results. You'd have to do this for your operations. You'd have to do this for your sales, right? So everything, this is how you systemize it. You just like write down what you need to do, and then you hire people around it. And obviously you won't be hiring people from the Philippines mainly. That was just an example that I gave you. But like this is exactly how it's done. Like we have sales SOPs that we follow, and I just give those to my sales reps. So if you want, I can just show it to you guys. Give me one sec. So this is just an example of our before the call SOP. So I just like what I did is essentially I sat down and I just listed everything we need to do to make someone show up and be nurtured before the call. So this is what a sales rep need to do. So like they need to send this, they need to send the script. Everything is inside here. So do this, do this, do this. Like call them before, if not confirmed, cancel the call. If the call is booked between this time, you cancel the call and you use this cancellation note. Everything is there, literally. Like, okay. And then you just like follow them on LinkedIn, saying this specific connection request note. Everything is here, literally, like the text scripts, the email scripts, everything. So you need to put everything in that video. So that way the person that you're going to hire knows what this is all about. Okay. So that's very important when you create this SOP. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So I think that's been the video. This is essentially how you systemize stuff, and this is essentially how you get out of this hamster wheel that you built around your business. Okay, and that's how I did it. So that's all I can tell you. You know what I mean? So I hope this helped you. By the way, if you're looking to book more appointments and how I need help systemizing your agency like this, there's a link in the description that's going to help you do that. Full transparency, it's going to take you to a sales page where I'm going to try and sell you something. So if you don't want to, you don't have to click it. It's just there. Okay, I don't care if you click it or not. So yeah, that's it from me. And if you like this video, just like it so that way more people watch this and implement this in their agency, and subscribe so that way you get more videos like this.